next interview as we continue our series of mayoralty candidates for the city of Kelowna is Bob Schwee. Bob, welcome. And you're no stranger to the operations of a municipal government because you've been a municipal employee for quite some time.
Yes, for 12 years I've been a bylaw officer with the city of Kelowna, and I was right in the heart and middle of the bureaucracy.
So you've had a first-hand look at the inner operations of City Hall.
Yes, I'm well aware of a lot of inefficiencies and some things we do right. I'm not going to say it's all negative, certainly not.
Is that what motivated you to put your name in the hat for mayor of Kelowna? Was some of the inefficiencies you saw while you were a city employee?
No, that would be a smaller part of it. What really got me involved into the politics was the direction that we've taken the city with major developments, not very smart developments. The moving of the Tourist Bureau to the Queensway boat launch location there is, how's somebody pull a travel trailer into that location?
Well, that's a good point. So let's break that down. First of all, the location, the waterfront location for the Tourist Information Center, you're not in favor of that at all?
No, and I understand there was only one councillor that actually questioned that and voted against that. There's many issues. There's many prominent issues. The state of the downtown, it's deplorable, and it's not safe. Some people say, oh, it is safe. Well, no, I beg to differ. Some of my coworkers have been spit on, they've been attacked. I've been attacked a few times, approaching the transient people. Street people, they're not all bad, but certainly we have to help those that are qualifying and basically willing to work with the system, but the others, their way of life and their practices, it's not welcome.
Bob, a lot of people, including myself, most people in this building could say the same thing. It's a problem. We see them. Sometimes we're afraid, especially at night. But solutions are another thing altogether. So how do you fix that?
The big thing is, for example, with the downtown, and it's not just the downtown. It's spread out already further down, like Sutherland Avenue, around Capri Mall, and so on. But the big issue is our policies and priorities they're wrong. The current policies and procedures, for example, a parking complaint is the same priority with the bylaw department as a transient camp at 1500 block Sutherland Avenue across from the daycare. And that little wedge that forms there, a little tiny park there along Mill Creek, and there's many other areas.
What about the location of the homeless centers? Is that part of the problem?
Certainly, yeah. They should never have been put downtown in the heart of the city, and I would advocate that we shut them down as soon as possible, relocate what is justified to industrial areas, well away from any commercial or residential neighborhoods.
So not eliminate them, just relocate them to non-residential areas.
Yes, but we have to justify how much space that we can or should provide. The reality is we can't accommodate everybody across the whole country to come here. That's not feasible.
Well, what would you do? Cap it? How do you stop people from coming to Kelowna? This is a problem
I think there'd be a priority for those that are locally here, that are here already, and that would have to be determined with social agencies too. And the social agencies we have to work with. But the social agencies, for example, have from what I understand, somebody has to be here for 2 years before they qualify for full assistance. But temporary shelters is one thing, and then there's affordable housing and more permanent housing for.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on affordable housing. I have children affected by extremely high housing prices, as probably most people my age do. What do you have to say about that?
Well, there's a lot of things that we could do. It's quite possible, and the city has done some of this already, where we've allowed to have some areas rezoned where they can have 2 secondary suites instead of 1. Mm-hmm. There's also some low-cost rental housing or affordable housing condos that are being built. You have also the possibility of micro-housing. If you've looked into some of the situations south of the border they're attempting to do in Seattle, I believe, with micro-housing. There is some options. Another thing actually is the land that's locked up in the ALR. There's some inactive agricultural properties, such as the very west end of McCurdy.
It's not always the city's call, though, on what happens to agricultural land
No,
property.
that's the ALR is a provincial authority, and they have jurisdiction there. But we can work with them, and some of these properties that are inactive, not being utilized currently for agricultural practices.
So basically, your answer to
could be opened up, and that supply demand would help.
So you want to increase the supply by basically increasing the density of what's already there to a large degree, and utilizing some agricultural land.
Increase density carefully. This all has to be. You can't just throw money at it, or you can't just do things without thought. And developments have been just favoring very few people and big developers, whatever, in this town, and that's all part of the issues that face the election here.
We don't have a lot of time. I wish we did, but what else is top of mind on your agenda in your mayoralty campaign?
The state of the downtown is certainly one of the major issues, and once again, it's not just downtown. We have to be careful when we clean up the downtown that we don't push issues and petty criminals, whatever. We don't want to push them into other neighborhoods anywhere in Kelowna. And there's a whole range of issues. It's a complex issue, but yeah, I could go on and on and on. We don't have the time here.
We probably don't have the time for it, but I think it's unique and unusual and kind of refreshing that somebody with a perspective from the inside decides to go forward.
That's
and
what I bring, and obviously the current mayor is an insider, truly, but how things have been going is not very good. We've just touched upon developments and things like the proposal with the Capri landmark, Sutherland Avenue realignment,
Right.
expansion. That pitted the proposal against some of the existing property owners, businesses, people that live in that area, and they're not happy. And that was not very smart, that development. And the city was to be on the hook for like $35 million.
it looks like it's on the back burner for now.
It is now. The pressure that was from some of the major property owners convinced a couple of councillors apparently to vote against it, but there was still the mayor and two councillors that voted for it.
All right.
Ago.